Hello, everybody. Prof Sales coming at you with another video. And today you may notice my sidekick is not here. She will be here momentarily, I promise you. So never fear, Karen will be here. She just had an errand to run and just couldn't quite make it back by 2, but she should be here in just a few moments. So how is everybody doing out there in eBay land, YouTube land, Amazon land, whatever land you're living in? This land is my land, it's your land. I'm just full of it today. Some would say every day. So let me know if the sound is okay, guys, and you can hear me okay. I'm sure you probably can, but you never know. You never know. So just give me a sound check. But I'm Prof Sales, and this is my channel. I do these videos at least twice a week, sometimes more. The description will tell you a little bit more about my channel and what we do here, and we've developed a cool community here around just positivity, around a can-do spirit, a spirit of learning and encouragement, and hopefully you guys have gotten as much out of this community as I have, but I don't think you have. I think I've gotten way more out of this community than you have, and that's always going to be the case. So hello.
Hello.
Karen is here. She just walked in the door, so we will change the camera here a little bit. You'll have to pull up the chair.
Better, you don't have my chair ready?
I don't have her chair ready. I'm not ready at all. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what happens when you come late. Your chair's not ready. It's just...
I'm lucky to have a seat, apparently.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. So if you guys know what movie that's from, type it in the chat feed. But anyway, it is Friday, March 3rd, 2017.
Do I have a chair already?
And Karen's finding your chair. You're awfully loud finding. I'm just kidding.
When am I not loud?
I don't know what she's doing.
I'm making it.
Ghostbusters. Chris Avalos got it. Nice. That's one of Karen's favorite sayings, and a great movie, by the way.
Oh,
it's like the all-American glasses there. So anyway,
I'm an all-American girl.
Yeah, so we had 51 people watching already, so that's pretty cool.
Hello, everyone.
Lots of people I see in the room. Large Bargains, Lauren 95472, Country Thrifting Lady, Almost Antique, Thrift Shop Hustler, Fred's Premium Purple Lily, Miles Junk, Bargain Finder. Oh my gosh, just too many here. Tino's here. Jeanette.
Aww. Hey, Papa, how's that baby? Send me more pictures.
Our Rocky, all kinds of people. Nicole Lewis. So all kinds of people here on the really big show here on a Friday. So how you doing?
I'm drinking Turkish coffee.
Turkish coffee?
It's probably
Is it made in Turkey?
It is. It's probably not a good thing. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls even more than normal.
Yeah. Well, you know. So, all right. So we're going to talk about a few different topics today, guys. Of course, the main topic we'll get to here in a few moments. For those of you who don't know, we do get to it, I promise, but it's usually about 20 minutes into the show. But we will get there. So the first thing I want to talk about today, guys, is the eBay seller update. And we're not going to spend too long on that because I think it's been beat to death by, well, really everybody in the reselling community. And, you know, and in case, for those you don't know, eBay's came out with a new seller update, and some things are changing. There's some fees that are going up. There's some discounts that are going away. And guess what how they're reacting, Karen?
Reacting to what?
The new seller update. How do you think they're reacting?
I don't know.
I love it when I throw questions out there that we haven't talked about beforehand.
I thought you meant everybody's like, is it stronger than Vietnamese coffee, Turkish coffee?
No.
Yes.
So there's a new seller update. Some fees are going up and some discounts are going down. So, of course, a lot of people in the reseller community are, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
Oh, but wait, it's a conspiracy. Don't forget that.
It's a conspiracy against resellers, against the very people that eBay has all over their channel. You know, guys, here's the thing. I mean, for those of you who've been around a while in this community, in the reselling game and e-commerce in general, if you know one thing, you know it's this. Change is constant. These things are always in flux. eBay is a business just like a lot of you watching are business people. And they have to make decisions that they think are correct for their business model. Now, you may not like them, and I may not like them, but it's interesting. 5 years ago, some of the things that were on eBay are not there today and have changed. But we evolve and we adapt. So when discounts go down and prices go up, and I would say the price for the fee that's going up, the final value fee, I think is going up like 0.15% or something like that. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's nothing, but it's pretty close to nothing. And I don't think there's any reason to get too excited about that one. And here's what you do, guys. You're gonna have to raise your price a little bit. When your discount goes down, when your cost of selling goes up, somehow you have to you got two choices. When the cost of doing business goes up, and in this case, it's going up two ways. A fee is going up and a discount that you're getting is going down. You got two choices, guys, and two choices only. Well, technically, I guess you have three choices. One choice is you could just grin and bear it. Like, I'm just going to have to accept less profit now, Karin.
Yeah, because that works.
Right? You could just grin and bear it. You could say, well, the fees are going up, my discount's going down, so I'm just going to grin and bear it and deal with it and make less. You can do that. Another choice is you can adapt to those changes by changing your pricing strategy. Mm-hmm. You can charge more. Now, is that going to affect your sell-through? It could, but you can change what you're selling things for. You could change what you're selling and adapt to that new fee structure so that you won't lose any revenue. That's the other one. And then there's a third choice, guys. You could just quit and give up. You could just be done with, no, it's weird.
That's my phone.
You could just be done with your reselling altogether. You could just say, that's it. I'm closing the doors. It's all over. For me, it's like, I'll probably take door number 2 and just adapt to it and change my pricing a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And you know what? The end user is going to have to adapt to it. They're going to see some buyers are going to see some sellers that don't charge more. Some buyers are going to see some sellers that go out of business, and they're going to encounter other sellers. They're going to raise their prices a little bit. That's what you do. I mean, that's what business does. There's a saying that businesses don't pay taxes; their customers do, and that's true with a smart business, because when taxes get raised on corporations do one of two things for the most part. Well, they do one of three things. They could just accept a lower profit margin, but that's not always possible given their business. They can raise their prices they charge their customers, which is what they do a lot of times, or sometimes they can cut their cost, like their expenses doing business. And that can look like lower wages, less benefits, efficiencies in their processes, and so on. You got to do the exact same thing. You can decide, are you going to deal with it? Are you going to accept it and accept lower profit? Are you going to pass the increased cost on to your customers, or are you going to try to find a way to get more efficiencies out of your business, or are you just going to give up? That's really your only choices. But you don't have to run around like a chicken with its head cut off just because some fees changed on eBay. I just think that's overreacting.
Well, did we, close the doors when USPS rates went up recently? No, we adapted. No. So, one of our mantras is adapt or die. And I think that's what we've done here, right?
Adapt or die, guys. eBay is going to change again and again and again and again and again. It's never going to stop, this process of change. So you have to find a way to deal with that if you want to be in business. So I guess when I hear stuff like this, it just amuses me because it's a mindset. There's a mindset among some people in the reselling community that eBay owes them something. eBay owes them lower prices and less fees and this and that. No, they really don't. eBay is a company that is publicly traded. They have a responsibility to their shareholders. First and foremost, that comes before any responsibility to sellers or buyers, because if the shareholders are who owns the company, and that's who makes decisions. So ultimately, their task is to increase shareholder wealth, and there's different ways you can do that. But they don't owe us anything, guys, as resellers. They know that some of us will not like it and leave. They know that some of us will adapt. But ultimately, it's their game. It's their platform. And if you were running it, you would have to make decisions like this too, just like you do for your business. So I don't know.
Well, and Hank started out the conversation. Their platform, you want to sell on it, then you adapt.
Yeah, it's like if you're, let's say you sell at the flea market, and this flea market charges you, I don't even know, what does the flea market charge you for a table?
Oh, it varies.
$25, 50 bucks, 10 bucks.
Varies.
And then the next weekend they raise their rate. What, you can complain about it, but they're probably not going to change because they've already thought about this and decided, hey, this is probably a good decision for our business to raise the cost of letting people have a table here. So now you got to decide, do you want to keep having a table there? Do you want to keep playing in their sandbox? If you don't, take your toys and go home. That's fine. Wow, where am I coming up with these analogies?
I don't know. It must be.
It's Friday.
Friday.
So anyway, don't sweat it, guys. I mean, don't get all caught up in the...
It's a cog. No, it's not a cog. It's a cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business. Yeah, yeah.
It's a CODB. It's a CODB.
CODB.
And it's you write it off against it and move on.
Yeah.
And we're not going to sit here and read to you every little thing. We're going to assume that if you want to know what's up with what's changed on eBay, you're going to go there and look it up and educate yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through them all. I mean, I read them and then I went,
meh.
You know, it didn't seem like a cost to stock up on ammunition and canned goods, like the world was ending for me. But anyway,
world is ending. CODB.
I know, CODB. Cost of doing business. All right. So, what else? Do you have anything? Did you come up with anything else for the show? We were struggling with show topics, like the secondary topics today. Did you think of anything? The secondary.
I just like to babble because people like it when I babble. Inside joke, long story. No, I mean, I think we're going to talk about I'll talk about what I want to talk about in the niche when we get to that, about you doing you and all that stuff. But no.
All right. So let's see. So next topic. All right. So I booked my hotel last night, guys. Now, Carmen was like, oh, really? You're going to talk about that? I booked my hotel room for the Green Room meetup. Some of you may know I'm a member of the Green Room, which is a reselling community that has a Facebook page, website. It was started by Chris, Bonafide Hustler, Raiken, College Picker, and Young. And it's a community of like-minded people. And this reseller meetup is happening in July of this year. It's in Austin, Texas. And last night, I didn't go to the one last year. I booked my hotel last night for the one this year. And I just want to talk a moment about that, guys, and about groups and communities and things like that, because I think there's some misinterpretation sometimes of what groups are about. The Green Room is, for me, and any group really, guys, about, for me, any reselling group, whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's a free group, a paid group, whether it's this, whether it's that, it's about a few different things. And I'm going to share with you what those are, and you guys can chime in, because somebody was asking if they thought, hey, is it worth it? Great question, by the way, country thrifting lady. I think there's value in certain things that the Green Room has proven to me. Now, I'm not going to say it's always going to prove these things to me. I'm not going to say that there's other groups that aren't better. I'm not going to say that a free group is better than a paid group. I'm not going to get into that argument. But I see value in the Green Room for a few different reasons. And I think this is what you should look for in any group you want to join or that you're a part of. First of all, I think there's value in making new connections. There's people in this community who know more than you. Shocking, I know, for some of us.
Did you just really say that out loud?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
She's so proud of me.
Oh, you've grown.
There's people outside, in this community that know more than you. And there's a lot of them that are out there that you don't even know exist, and you don't even know what they know. you're not going to find those people unless you reach out to make connections with them. Now, there's all different ways you can do that, but a group is a great way to do that. There's a couple people, including Chris and Raiken, but there's some people in the green room that I've had connection with, you know, personal connection, either talking on the phone or through messages and so on. And they've been great for my business. They've been great for my mindset. They've been great for how I put this all together, put this in place. And I've taken little bits from each of them. And I use it. And I use it on a daily basis because I don't know everything. And there's lots of things that, and there's been plenty of things, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of things that I learned. I'm like, oh, that's great. It's not for me, but that's worth it too. When you learn what you don't want to do or what's not as important to you or doesn't work for your business, I think there's value in that. So there's value making those new connections. And that takes me to the second one, because there's value in learning from others. Because at the same time I'm making those connections, I have people now that I can go to with a question. And I don't mean a simple question, guys, that is asked over and over by people who are brand new to this game. I mean the bigger questions, like, you know, should I hire employees? I mean, that's a pretty big question. Or should I go full time as a reseller? That's a big question for a lot of people, I think. I think that's a really big question. And I can learn from other people in a group that have done what I've done and have walked where I want to walk. Because every day is a new day. Every day is an adventure. But there are people who've already gone down a lot of the paths that I'm going down, and they can give me insight into their journey, which can help me make better decisions for my journey. And the third thing I'm going to say that there's value in is in knowing you're not alone, man, because you're not. You guys out there listening right now, if you're watching this video, you're not alone. The struggles you're having, other people are having them. The successes you've had, other people have had them. The failures and setbacks you've had, other people have had them, and they're still having them. There are days we all get up and we don't feel like listing. We don't feel like working. We don't feel like packing and shipping. We don't feel like sourcing. We don't feel like doing anything. There are days we have 5 customers in a row. They're just difficult and want the world from us and it just seems like everything's coming against us. There's other people out there going through exactly what you're going through and experiencing exactly what you've experienced. And man, just the comfort of knowing that is so huge. And you won't know that unless you make connections to these people. And man, I have just developed some great connections with people, not only in the green room, other groups as well. But there's been a few people in there specifically that I've been able to talk to behind the scenes that have they've shed so much insight on their struggles and their successes. And it's just given me such a great feeling of contentment to know, you know what? Me too. Me too. You're having that problem? Me too. You can't get this to fit in that padded flat rate envelope? Me too. You can't find anything that's going to make more than $1 profit on? Me too. You blank on every single thing when you walk in a store? Me too. So we all have those same struggles, guys, and being part of a group will help you realize that if you've got the right connection. And for me, the green room has always been that. And I'd like to meet some of these people in person, but I also want to make new connections. This is not hero worship. This is not going to shake Steve Raiken's hand, although I will, but this is more about making even more connections and meeting these people face to face, which I think there's something really awesome about that. And you don't always get a chance to do that. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten a lot of value out of that group and room. There's other great groups out there. I'm not saying one is better than another. They all have their strengths, but I've gotten great value out of it. Just some of the advice and tips I've gotten have way more than paid for the cost of the membership many times over. That might not be your experience or everyone's experience, but it has been mine. But I think it's like anything else, guys. It's what you put into it. You can't just assume I'm going to join a group and poof, magically everything happens. everybody's my friend. I know everything. I'm uber successful. I'm making 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 bucks a month. It doesn't work that way. You've got to put time and effort into it, just like anything else. But if you find the right group with the right people of the right mind that you are, I think it can be nothing short of revolutionary for your business. And so that's why, and I wanted to talk about it. And, I encourage everybody listening to this, investigate and seek out these groups. Some are going to bring you more than others, but anytime you can make connections to people that are like-minded and they're going or have gone where you want to go, you can get great benefit from that. Like that's like a free education, that you can't get anywhere else. And I just had a great experience with them. So I'm going to Austin.
And I'm not going to Austin. Somebody asked.
Karen is not going, probably due to a lack of love. I don't know.
Somebody's got to run this business while you're off gallivanting in the springs, apparently. Bring your bathing suit, somebody said.
For the springs? Oh, well, it will be hot. I hear Austin's hot in the summer.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little warm, a little bit of heat. Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right, guys, we got 190 or 95 people watching. So thank you for that. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. If they are, Karen, what do you suggest people do?
We were gonna do Beavis and Butthead. So for Adam, because he said I was your favorite wrong, big boy, why don't you smash it?
Smash what?
Smash that thumbs up.
The like button. Hit it.
Just smash it.
Michelle said it's a dry heat.
A dry heave? What? No, I know she said heat. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I've been to Vegas a few times. Heat is heat. It's still hot. You just don't sweat. You don't realize you're sweating to death in Vegas. But you are. It's just not showing up on your skin. It's evaporating. All right.
Wait, Tino said he's going. If Tino's going, I need to come.
Tino is making the trip up, and I'm excited about that. Like, there's a great example. Tino, as you guys may remember, was on the show a few weeks back, and he's got an awesome channel dealing a lot. Tino sells a ridiculous amount of shoes on eBay. And, how would I get I would not get the chance to meet him. We live halfway across the country from each other. Mm-hmm. And he lives not too far from Austin. So, there's another great example. I mean, and he and we converse on pretty much on a weekly basis. So
a daily basis.
Probably a daily basis. But I'm like, hey, Tino, I got 87 shoe questions. Can you answer these? But he's going to make the trip up. And so we're going to connect while we're there. So, I mean, that's another example, guys. I mean, just, find a group that makes sense for you. So.
Hey, Luke, you have somewhere to stay, apparently. So hopefully the boss gives you permission to go.
That was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, and we have, we've met Luke. And hopefully we'll be meeting Luke's boss soon. Remember, don't forget dinner. Tiffany and James. And,
yep.
And we're actually in the process of creating our own meetups here. Like a Carolina sort of thing. And we'll talk more about that later. But I mean, that's been a blessing. Where else would you have an opportunity?
Well, that's one of the big knocks on reselling is that it's a solitary game, but it doesn't have to be.
No,
it doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be. You can connect to people through these groups, through YouTube channels, through social media, and you can make these connections. I mean, you don't have to be, you're not alone in this, only by choice. So that's again, just there's many reasons I'm going, but those were some of the big ones. Mm-hmm. All right, Karen. So I think we need to talk about the show topic because we're 25 minutes in. We're behind schedule.
Is there a topic?
There is a topic. It's right there. It's on the paper. It's on the paper.
The agenda. So today's show topic, is that it? That first line?
Well, that's the topic.
Finding new niches on eBay.
What do you think about that?
I think that you need to expand your reselling repertoire.
Well read.
Yeah.
So we, a lot of people know that we have focused primarily on jeans, and that is true. But we have branched out in recent months into some other areas, and we've realized, as many people know, that you have to expand your reselling repertoire if you want to continue to grow. And I think you have to do it too if you want this to continue to be fun. I don't think it's that much fun to do the same thing over and over unless it's got a lot of variation. At least not for me. What about for you?
No. And we kind of mix it up a little bit, but you're right. We can't be all jeans all the time, 24/7. And we do other than that, but that's primarily what we do. So
yes. So we are, and there's a few reasons why, guys, I think you need to find new niches. One is markets change. I think in something like jeans, they change slowly. But in other types of fashion, they could change really quickly. Games, or hot toys, they change really quickly. Pie Face 2 years ago was a hot toy. Not as hot this past Christmas. It was still around. And that happens. Like something new comes out, or it pops on social media, and all of a sudden it's really, really popular, and then it changes. Markets change.
They do.
People's taste change. Probably tough to sell parachute pants in volume today.
Well, unless a Kardashian showed up wearing a pair.
Right. And parachute pants were big when Karen was a kid. But
hey, true story.
I made you laugh.
Hey, we're
the same age, so it's not like I wasn't a kid too.
I'm so much older than you, though.
Yeah, she is older. But anyway, so where were we?
I don't know.
But
parachute pants.
But markets change because of consumer taste. They change because of supply and demand.
Supply and demand, that's a big
economic conditions can change a market, obviously. And so you need to expand your niche into other niches, or otherwise you could get left behind. Like your niche may not become as profitable or as easy to source. Yeah, somebody said apparently the Hatchables are dead now. Yeah, those were super hot at Christmas time, going for ridiculous prices, but not so much now. That's kind of funny. So, so anyway, all right. But some other reasons why you need to find other niches to sell on eBay. Seasonality. If you're a clothing reseller, you're going to experience seasonality. Certain types of clothes sell better in one season over another. For instance, we're heading towards short season, bathing suit season, short sleeve shirt season. People are going to be thinking about those things. So it's not that you can't sell them year round, but you're going to have peaks and valleys of when those are as popular. Like I know jeans die off in the summer because in a lot of, the United States, which is the biggest market for my eBay business, not a lot of people are thinking about pants when it's 90 degrees outside. Or jeans. They're just not. Now, there are other parts of the world where it's cold and so on. I get that. But the United States market is a big part of my business. So,
and truth be told, Monkey Boy, and I know that you meant that as a funny, like winter jackets won't sell. Yeah, not so much. We still sell jeans year round, but it dies down, right? So the whole point of the stretching out into because seasons change is to find things that are going to sell through.
Right. And you might see
slower times.
And you might sell a particular type of item. Let's say it's jeans. And in the fall, you might see a 1% sell through, a 1.25%, maybe even a 1.5%. But in the summer, it might only be a 0.5% sell through. So your business is going to be cut in half or even more. So you've got to niche out into other areas, I think, if you want to create a year-round successful business, and one that can weather some market changes as well. Now, I've talked about in some other videos on how to find niches, so I'm not going to go into all that right here. But we have decided to move into another niche. We were supposed to do it today, but events conspired against us a little bit, so we had to switch gears a little bit. But we have decided on a different niche as well, have we not?
We have. And we are going, and thanks to our networking,
right?
Because we actually have a great fountain of information to help us in switching to that. But we're going to give shoes a try. and we're going to give it to try. We're going to give it a try in a big way. We're not just going to buy a pair of Nikes and that's going to be it. But we, you know, I think you put on your Instagram a whole table full of pictures.
Right.
But we're going to give shoes a try, and we have our toolbox, and we'll make a video, and we will make mistakes. But
stay tuned for hilarity.
Yeah, our comedy reel, right? But we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it seriously. You know, you can't. I don't think you're giving it a fair share or a fair shot if you just put up one pair of shoes and they sit there for 8 months and nobody buys them. So we have a whole table full of shoes. And what's funny is, Tino loves it. I knew you would. But we have not only your shoe pile, but we even have my shoe pile. So we'll have all kinds of shoes all over the place.
Yep.
And I didn't have a chance to say it earlier, but shoes, like this is a good example. You know, I think in the last show we talked about you do you, right? And we get asked a lot from new sellers, you know, oh, what do I do? I don't know what to sell. I get to the Goodwill and I'm overwhelmed and there's so much stuff. And this week I've had a couple of moments where I thought of ways to help you when you're trying to narrow that down. And you pull from what's inside of you, your own life experiences. And with regard to the shoes, one of the shoes on the pile, and I know I sent the picture to you. I don't think I sent it to Tino, but you know, in my lifetime, I've been rock climbing a few times. So I know that it involves a harness and carabiners and this and that. And I happen to know what a rock climbing shoe looks like. And sure enough, I was in a Salvation Army the other day and there was a pair, and go figure, they have a very, very high resale value. And the pair that I picked up just happened to, I can't remember. I was going to have them here to show, but I was late. My apologies. But you know, it's a pair of shoes that'll go for $200 and then they're reselling for like $50, $60 or something crazy like that. So that's just something from my past that I was able to pull on when I'm outsourcing. Same thing happened on one of the days we went to the outlet this week. I came upon a pair of EQUI something. I grew up with horses, and I know that these particular pants, they were new with tags, they're riding pants. So immediately from my own history, I'm able to draw from my own experiences. I knew that, you know, they're riding pants. I also know from conversations that we've had that certain riding pants sell for a lot on eBay. So I was able to pull from that as well. So when you're doing when you're doing your own self, pull from your own experiences and your own knowledge. And you'll find that after time, you know, we can walk into a store now and I can just about do it blind. But once you do something over and over, the repetition of going through thousands of pairs of jeans, I'm pretty good at it now. And I can probably touch a pair and tell you who makes it, just based on composition. But that experience builds, and that history, your memory, it builds, and you get better at it. So there has to be things in your own life and your own history that I'm going to have to get that you can pull on, and that can help you get started. And then there's your own closet. So you expand on that. I have to answer my phone.
Yeah, so as Karen was saying, you obviously can start with what you already know and move out from that. Karen had to step away to take a phone call for a moment. But someone had asked too if you needed to start another store because, I'm going to change this screen a little bit, start another store just because you're in another niche. I don't think so. You could start under another account and so on if you wanted to, but it's totally up to you. But yeah, so we are definitely branching out, guys. And we just look at it as it's a way to offset some of the issues we will have. Like, for instance, you know, as I said, jeans in the summer do not sell through as quickly. So why not branch out into another area like shoes? You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be shoes. It could be lots of things. And someone mentioned return rate was high on shoes, but I know that's not the case for Tino. I mean, his return rate is about the same it is for me in jeans. So let me turn this back because I don't know how long you'd be gone.
Yeah, well, teenagers happen.
Teenagers happen, yeah. So we have a pretty cheap supply of shoes here. Someone was saying they pay a lot for their shoes, spiky, I think, but they're not too bad here. They're basically $5, and if we get them at the outlet, they're probably around $3.50 at the bins, I would guess.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. I don't know. We need to see what the weight is. But
well, I think those rock climbing booties they were half off, so I think I paid $2.50 on those, and they'll go for like it's not even funny.
Anytime you can find there is a funny part. Anytime you can find something that's a niche item, there's probably a small amount of it out there because it is a niche, like rock climbing. I mean, rock climbing, there's lots of people rock climb, but it's not like, as popular as, say, the NFL. So there's not going to be as many people doing it, which means that sometimes people will pay a little bit higher amount for the equipment because it's just not made in the same quantity. So by definition, it's usually going to be a little more expensive. But I just think that, shoes offer an opportunity for us. We have plentiful supply in our area. I don't think we'll have any issues being able to find lots of profitable brands to sell. We're definitely going to have to step up our brand game. We're going to try to shoot a video too of us cleaning the first time, which should be interesting.
No, it'll be fun.
You'll have like one standard and I'll have a different standard, and we'll be like, no, and we need to do this to it. No, we need to, I don't know. We probably will do that.
Tino, I don't remember what they're called, but I'll text you a picture of them later so I can share with you. I thought Jason would have sent it to you, but he didn't.
No, I don't think I did. Let's see. I'll take a couple quick questions here, and we got one more little thing to talk about. What systems or software methods you use to price your products? eBay sold listings and eBay completed listings. Just looking at those, I mean, that's your market research. That's your market. You've got the whole universe of your market if you're listing just on eBay. You don't have to even get a sample. You can see it all, and you can look and see what things have been selling for over the last 30 days, 60 days, and just use that.
Don't use the listings. Please don't I can't say that enough times where people will look it up and they'll say, well, this skirt or this jacket or this tie or this suit is going for, $100.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that they have it for sale for that much, but realistically, you need to go for what has come before you.
Yeah.
And if you can't find a listing, a sold similar or something like that, then you have to go another route. But don't get sucked into there's a bunch of them for sale for ungodly amounts, and because you won't sell it.
It's not. Yeah, it's never about what they're listed for. It's what they sold for, because that tells you where the market really is on them. Because sometimes people list for all different things and different models. Let's see here. We'll look at some questions. I'm going to bring up one more issue at the end here in a moment, or one more.
Yes, we use global shipping.
Yeah, GSP. Absolutely. I mean, why not? I think it's so easy now. Like, it even prints out on the label now, the customs form, which is great. I just print it out actually on a half-page label, fill it out, and stick it right on the package. Done. I don't have to change a label, tape anything to it, nothing. It's great. I love it. They've made it really simple, I think. Let's see. Yeah, having a brand list. Blitzen talks about having a brand list is great. Car and I were just talking about that the other day, creating a brand list for jeans. Like if we were having somebody else source for us, for instance, they would have to have that. Just, I mean, we'd still have to go with them and help them, because I don't think you just hand a list to somebody and say, hey, go get this. When it's something like clothing is kind of tricky because there's condition, there's sizes, things like that. But it's a place to start. You can say, hey, I want you to look for these 20 brands primarily. And we could do that with a person, an employee. We could say, hey, here, you look for these 10 brands. If you see, or 20, if you see these 20 brands, pull it and then bring it to us. We could do that with someone sourcing, and it wouldn't be that hard.
And we've even talked about creating a list of brands not to buy.
Yeah, that's good too.
We're not really good about that because it's just the two of us that source. We'll say, this one, what those cavies that we couldn't find, whatever. Yeah. We're real quick to say, okay, never again, never again. But we don't really keep a list of those. So
How do you handle the shoe section at the bins in your area? I just walk right over and buy them.
Yeah, our somebody said earlier,
I don't know what they're wanting in that question. So Michelle has said no, but I mean, honestly, I don't know.
No, what she means is, somebody said earlier in the feed that the shoe pickers it's a cutthroat kind of section of the outlet. And it's not that bad really. And in our, like, specifically, they'll bring out new ones just like they bring out the new Rolly tables or whatever. And they say 3, 2, 1, you have at it, you can grab 2 pair and that's it. And then you get to come back a half an hour later. There are rules at the outlet.
Yeah. They, and I don't know. I just think that you assume when there's a bunch of people in a store, or that it's going to be difficult and they're going to take all your stuff. Like, there's a great example the other day at the outlet. I was standing, they were just rolling out the bins, the new ones, and I had a spot and I had 2 ladies on either side of me. And I told Carmen this, and our bins are the big wide tables. These tables are probably a good 4 feet deep, and I don't know, they're probably like 10 feet long, 8 feet long, maybe 8 feet long. So they're big and they roll, but they had rolled out all the old ones and they rolled in the new ones. And I started sourcing this one, and this lady beside me was literally reaching kind of diagonally in front of me to get to stuff. And, and I told Karen, I said, but she wasn't very tall. She was maybe about 5 feet tall. So, and I saw her, there were some jeans in the back part of this that I hadn't got to yet. And I saw her kind of reaching towards them. I'm ashamed to say this. So I just reached and grabbed the jeans and put them on my bin and waited to look at them later. And I'm like, having long arms or being taller is an advantage sometimes. So, but the moral of the story is you take advantage of the advantages you have. Mm-hmm. Whatever your area is, whatever your sourcing is, whatever you know more about. And I saw people in that same day in that store that were throwing back jeans that I picked up and will flip for, some of them are 30, 35, 40 bucks. And I'm paying $2 for them. So not everybody who's in that store knows what you know, guys. They're not all out there to get you. They're there for all kinds of different reasons. And Hank says I'm a cold-blooded grabber. In the stores, I'm like, I am here I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission from God. The Blues Brother reference. And I'm not gonna, I'm gonna go after it, and I'm not gonna be rude or mean to anybody or push them or get aggressive.
You're a mean gene machine.
But you know awesome. What? If you're down here in single A ball and I'm up here in the pros, and I got longer reach than you, that's your loss. I don't know, get a grab or something. What am I going to do?
Adam, grease stains are really tricky. We just ordered some new product to help with spot stains. But grease might be just a deal breaker for us.
Yeah, grease is really tough because it's very difficult to get out.
Yeah, and I just make friends with all of them. All the other people at the outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, pickers or otherwise. What are you looking for, honey? And then I had a woman just
direct them the wrong way. There's a bunch over there.
No. I mean, you get more. I always say the joke wrong. You get more what with honey? You
catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
I always say you get more bees. And
bees? You get more bees with honey?
But anyway, yeah, and I see the same people. There's somebody said something about the little evil person everybody's got a demon at their outlet store, I'm sure. But I'm going to kill them all with kindness. It's just it's wasted energy to get all persnickety and up in somebody's space about nonsense.
Yeah. And our friends, Tiffany and James, they actually went to the bins the other day. They got a big load of items. Then they left, went to a Goodwill store. Then they came back to the bins. And how much did they buy that day?
Oh, like a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, they bought like 200 pounds at the bins only.
They went outlet, then they went to this one retail store that we go to, and then they went back to the outlet. Then they went back to the other retail. And we've never done that. We've never gone retail, come back, because they were just rolling out stuff. But they got over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So, you've got to come up with a bin strategy, a sourcing strategy. And I know some of you guys have bins that are not great in your area, but you can't just say, I'm not going to go to the bins because people there are aggressive. Like, I kind of think that's a little bit of an excuse. You can find ways to find things at the bins, and every bins is different. I get it. But you know what? There's going to be times and days maybe where the bins are not as crowded, or just your regular stores. There's going to be things you can get there that other people don't understand. Like at our bins, for instance, nobody goes to the books, the CDs, the records, the cassettes. Most of the hard goods, like the electronics, almost nobody goes there. It's crazy. Like and I don't really do too many of those, but like if you were selling those things and you went to our bins, you would have them mostly to yourself. I mean, there's usually like maybe one person in those sections. It's not many at all.
And we noticed the other day, what was it, yesterday, and it's probably because of the time of year. And for us, we're going to spend, even though jeans slow down for us, we're going to spend a lot of time augmenting the inventory that we already have, so we're ready when it starts picking up again. So we'll actually be able to blow out the jeans more so, because I think we're going to have the inventory to back it up. But we noticed yesterday that nobody was looking for jeans.
Right.
So that puts us at a definite advantage there, I think.
Right.
And everybody's looking for different things. And at our outlet, we have the same thing everybody else does. We have people that are looking for good deals for their kids. We have pickers. We have the people that do the flea markets that are there. And I call them the gypsies, because they're, it's like they have their head pimp guy. And I don't mean it that way, but so did you spit up? I'm sorry. But so like the boss, the pit boss, we'll call him a pit boss instead for some kind of gambling reference. But we have him. And then there's 20 ladies that are out there doing their thing and loading up their carts. And it just does not, it doesn't get in our way. And we've not, we share how we do it. We go out and we meet people, and there's plenty for everybody. So,
Chris asked what's up, Chris? 10K on the bay. Do you guys measure jeans before photography? If so, where do you write down the measurements?
Hi, Chris.
We do not measure them before, actually. We need to do a new video on how to list jeans. Although the one that I have has gotten tremendous views and people follow. I mean, I don't know what it is about that video. It's not that great of a quality video. I can do so much better with it now. But
I'm going to do it.
Right. But Karin takes the photos, and she takes a batch of photos, and then I take the jeans and actually list them and do the measurements at the same time, and actually create them on a tag, Chris. And I've probably showed this before, but it looks something like that is a tag, and I've got on there just the waist and inseam and front rise. And the reason we have it all on there, the reason we have it all on that tag is we've experimented with, segmenting it up and saying, all right, what if we just create the item in our tracking before we actually list it, and then we have someone else list it. We could send them all this. So we've played around with that, but there's different ways to do it, and I don't know there's a right or wrong way. I mean, it's just segments. It's depending on which segments do you want to combine together of the listing process, and which do you want to split apart. And there's arguments for, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the table. There's arguments for both. So everybody's got to kind of figure that out. Some people just like to list one at a time and go right through. I mean, you could do that. Like Karin, when she edits photos, she batches and edits all the photos at once. When I take photos, I edit them as I go. It's not right or wrong. It's just what you're comfortable doing.
Well, and our process has evolved. I mean, because Chris asked another follow-up for that. But we used to include the tape measure in the photo. We used to include, and actually that evolved into a yardstick instead, because it photographed better and it was a little bit more stationary. And now we don't do it at all. We were including it as sort of a CYA measure to show, these are the measurements,
right?
Just look. But what we found is people don't look. They
right.
make their decision to buy based on the title. Like they're looking for a size 5 super low Levi whatever, and that's what they're going to find. And so more often than not, people make their decision and then they go back and say, oh, hey, what's the cuff, or what's the this, or what's the that? And we're finding that we have to refer them back.
What's the measurement midway down the thighs?
Yeah, we had that. Like, what's 6 inches above the knee? We got that once. It's like, but people just don't. It's this short attention span world we live in. So we can do all of the proactive listing and photographs that we want to, but people just they have the capacity. They're gonna pay attention to whatever they're gonna pay attention to. So.
The funny thing is, I think a lot of the photos, not a lot, but some of the photos and information we put in the listing is for us to answer questions on the back end and some people will obviously look at it and get info from it, but you get so many people who ask you a question that's already in the listing. Hey, what's the inseam? It's like, hey, it's actually here in the condition as well as here in the item specifics. But they just don't look, or they, for whatever reason, or they don't know where to look, whatever the reason is. So the one thing I always want to avoid with our listings, and I don't know how you guys feel out there in YouTube land, but I don't want, if I can avoid going to get the item to answer a question, I consider that a win. So if I can put enough information in my listing, not too much, enough information that people can make a good informed decision, and I can answer the vast majority of questions that come in without having to physically go get the item, I think that's a win. Because when I don't have to go get the item, when I have to get the item, that takes time. Like, it's just time. Like, I don't want to have to go up there, get it, pull the pair of jeans out, measure something, type in the response. I want to be able to just look at my listing and find the information the person's asking. And I know it's annoying when they don't see what's already there. We just talked about that. That's going to happen a lot if you're in the clothing game. But it's really for you, the seller, to be able to tell them, hey, here's what it is, but you don't have to actually physically get the item. So that's my thought on it.
Is it that time, or was there one more?
I think we're already in Q&A.
Okay. And Rob, I don't know. Did Super Chat stop taking PayPal? I don't know the answer to that question.
No idea. No idea.
Why don't you go on and send us one and test it?
You can only Super Chat, I think, on a desktop or laptop, though. I don't think you can do it on mobile, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you guys make drafts and then add photos later? Might save you from writing measurements. No, we don't.
No, for me, I will only because the way I'm all over the place with my own little version of this business, I will do a draft sometimes and then take the pictures and upload the pictures mobile from my phone into the existing draft because on the laptop you have more options. So I'll do a little bit of combination, but we don't do it that way. And remember, if you guys have questions as we're getting ready to wrap up, type the word question all in caps or question marks. And Jane, all I meant by augmenting the existing inventory is that we're going to buy more in our downtime, right? We're going to continue to buy jeans even though we're not selling jeans, so that we have more in the fall, in summer and fall when we start to sell more. So that's all I mean. We're going to augment, make greater the numbers that we already have. We're going to use this downtime to be more productive because this year we have the money to do it. Last year, if you would have said or suggested that we do that, I would have looked at you like we were crazy. What, you want us to spend money on things that aren't selling and buy more for when they will sell? What sense does that make?
Yeah. Luke, I see your question, man. I'm gonna have to answer that one offline because I think that's too long of an answer. But the short answer to Luke's question, Endless Entrepreneurs, is
what is the question though? So
his question is about, with forecasting cost and margins, how are you going to handle that when you start selling something different because you don't know what it is? I know that shoes is going to be a higher margin. Now, and it's not going to be any higher cost, honestly. Maybe a little higher than jeans, probably about. In the retail stores, it'll be the same. In the bin strategy, it'll be about 75% more, but that's not a lot of actual dollars in terms of actually what we will earn on it. So, I'm not worried about selling shoes. Shoes are a higher dollar sell item, and they're also, I would argue, a higher margin item. Well, yeah, they're a higher margin item too, I would think. Tino could probably talk about that more, but I don't know. But We can talk about that more offline if you want, Luke, but that's a good question. And until you had said that, I hadn't really thought about that angle, but that would be my immediate answer.
I like how you have the chat right here, by the way. And thank you, super chatters. That is just the coolest thing when you
Brandon
light up. I think that is so
Almost
neato.
Antique. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. But somebody earlier on asked about something about first, what do we sell the most of? And that's Levi's, right?
Yeah, definitely Levi's.
And that's eBay. That's consistent with what eBay sells the most of. So we're buying and selling mostly Levi's. Somebody also asked about counterfeit Levi's. Yeah, not so much. I mean, the only time we've ever seen, and they're not that hard to authenticate. Maybe if you're talking about some of the older ones, like the 501s or the selvage or the what are they called? The vintage, the biggies, silver tabs, things like that. That might take some little extra effort, but we don't run into, True Religion, Robin jeans are.
We've technically never found a Robin, because the Robin we found.
I found one, but it was a fake
one. We could not authenticate.
Yeah, it was a fake one.
But Robin are great.
The only time we should have bought them, actually. Remember that one pair of Levi's that had it looked like the Levi's, but it was like not. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
It was a plastic tab.
Yeah.
So yeah, Levi's. Yeah, no, we don't usually find those where they've been faked.
Man, lots of questions here. Ooh, man, there is a lot. Let's see here. Any rules about selling Levi's, like eBay not allowing? No, Brandon.
No, we haven't run into any problems.
Any issue with that?
With any of the jean brand? Well,
they're not a restricted brand like you see on
yeah,
Amazon, if that's what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I've heard that listing 30 days is the best day to list on, starting on Friday, because it will end on Sunday. Do you all list on specific days? Yeah, all of them.
We list on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
There's
Friday,
value,
Thursday.
Robert. Nobody can put a number on it 100%, but there's definitely value to listing every day on eBay for lots of reasons, honestly, that we could go into. I'm not going to go into all of them now that have nothing to do with sell-through, but there's definitely there seems to be a connection between listing and your sales, maybe getting pushed up in search. eBay re-indexes your listings, whatever it is that they're doing on the back end. They're rewarding people for constantly listing, which makes sense. I mean, their business model pays them when people list more. When people list more, people buy more, which generates more fees for eBay. I mean, it makes sense that they would do that. I would do that if I were them. But exactly how much and in what ways, I don't know that anybody knows 100%. But listing on a regular basis is very valuable to your sell-through. It's going to help your sell-through rate. So no doubt about it in my mind. Let's see. Prof. Oh, Prof had a question. Yeah, Krillin had a question. Prof, did you ever come across double Ralph Lauren jeans? They did well. Look them up.
Is that the Lauren, Ralph Lauren?
No, they're like a double. The letter is doubled, like mirrored. I think. Okay. I don't think we have. Honestly, I don't remember ever seeing them. I'd have to look back through, but I'm pretty sure we haven't at this point. Peach State Thrift says, I find myself loaded with closet clutter. Organization is hard.
Organization is key.
Just start with some simple bins, Peach State. To start, they don't have to even set on shelves or be anything fancy to start with. Some plastic totes, maybe you've already got some laying around. Put a letter on them to start if you want. And you can, I don't know how much stuff you got, but if it's not too bad, you can letter them A, B, C, D. You can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you do your listing, you put that in the custom label field, or even put it in the title of the listing if you want. And then when you need to go find it, you're going to know exactly where it's at. It's like, oh, this is in tote number 5. This is item number 1. This is in tote A or tote B. So I got to start with something.
And I would further that, commit to pulling whatever it is, 1 item, 5 items, and don't leave them in your closet. Make a commitment that you're going to take those 5 items out and make an effort. Sequester them, put them somewhere different, and then go through the process. And, we say to people all the time, you've got to start somewhere. And so I think that's a good first step. If you're going to start in your closet, that's awesome. And just commit to, just grab 1, 5, whatever, and then go from there.
I'm gonna let you answer that question. You can answer for both of us if you want.
Last
You
one?
know my answer.
This one right here?
Yeah.
What are our absolute favorite jeans to sell? Well, yours are Miss Me's.
No. Oh, I can't believe this is like the newlywed game. How do you not know me better than that?
But every time we find
it's
them,
not Miss Me.
Every time we find them,
it's not Miss Me.
All right, what's your favorite?
Koozies.
Oh yeah, well there's
that. How can you not know that?
And look, there's some.
Oh, this is. We're gonna have to end this broadcast right now. We gotta discuss this.
We gotta end this partnership right now. So see, there's some right there. Oh.
That's my favorite to sell.
That is your favorite.
What's your favorite? I don't know if you do. Do you have a favorite?
I don't know.
We know your favorite jean.
Oh, I do have a favorite. Why? Apple bottom jeans, Fred's with the fur, got the whole club looking at her. I don't know, Fred, have you been around long enough to have to suffer through my rendition of that? No, I do have a favorite. Tommy Bahama.
Classic. Tommy Bahama jeans. They do exist, people.
Like, I wish I could wear.
They're a thing.
It's a man jean, but they are so soft. Like, I can literally, if I walk by, and I found 2 this week, and they're dreamy. They're the softest, most comfortable.
Are Harley jeans worth picking up? If you mean Harley Davidson?
Yes.
I would argue you can't go wrong, assuming you get a good price, hardly with anything that's Harley Davidson. I mean, that brand has a tremendous following. And there are things in the Harley line of clothing that go for a lot of money. Like the leather jackets go for big money. But the jeans, I think we have 100% sell-through on them. Don't have any problem selling them. And they're nothing special as far as jeans go, but it doesn't matter. People love them. People are loyal to that brand. It's great. You will sell them.
Well, look at that.
Can
Rob
pretty much
says
promise you that
he wears Tommy Bahama jeans.
Nice.
I wish I could wear them.
I wear Lucky brand.
Yeah.
But Tommy's nice too. Actually, I've tried on some Tommy Bahamas, but they didn't fit me quite right. But I would have, if they would have, I would have kept them. So.
Oh, Adam, you sold them cheap? Maybe they were too distressed, but we don't. We sell them. They're a higher ticket for us, right?
What?
The Tommy Bahamas.
Sure, you can get more for them. Koozie sell well, yes. Especially the men's. The women's.
The men's do better. And the pair that I just held up are probably a women's.
They were women's. Then they'll be okay. Nothing great.
Here's another tip. Ting. But there's another Tommy Bahama brand. Indigo Palm.
Indigo
or
blue. It's indigo blue, isn't it?
I thought it was Indigo Palm.
Is it Indigo Palm? Gosh, I can't remember. My brain's swimming.
Yeah, anybody that knows the answer, but it's a Tommy Bahama brand. Those are really nice too. They're not as nice, but
yeah, I think it's they're like all these brands will have their brand, and they'll have like another version of their brand and all this good stuff.
What are you looking up?
I was gonna look that up.
Oh.
Right here.
Oh, I gotcha.
We forget sometimes. I think we've only found one of them.
It's not indigo.
It's indigo
blue.
palms.
It is indigo.
It's indigo palms. We only found one.
Indigo blue, no good.
Yeah,
but I found some the other day, but they had a big hole in the butter crotch or something, so we didn't get them.
Let's see what else is here. Why don't you ever talk about the Levi's Silver Tab from the 90s? We don't find that many of them, Krillin. I mean, you're right. They sell really fast, and some of them go for close to $100 or so, but we don't find that many of them. I mean, we find them. I think I just pulled down my spreadsheet. That's so funny. I could tell you how many we found.
Because we've got a stat for everything.
Silver Tab is made by Levi's. It was really popular back in the 90s and so on, and now I don't think they make them anymore. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do. But the men's Silver Tab, the baggy, the loose ones, those sell really well and for some decent money. We found 8 and sold 7. So yeah, they sell great. Silver Tab, good jean, no problem. Corduroy pants, we don't find that many.
Yeah, and we don't.
They're kind of most of them.
They sell better fall and winter.
Yeah.
And I was gonna do a show and tell. I found some Vera Wang. They're not cords, but they're like a velour, and they had something on them. That's why they're over there in the defect pile. But be careful with certain. Lesson learned. I've not had one before, but I went to fix it, and the material just started coming off in my hands. So I actually made it worse.
Yeah.
And ended up having to defect the pair of pants. So. There you go.
Illinois Picker asked a great question, and I think I've only been asked this one other time, way back when. But it's a good question. What is your standpoint on pricing items per the suggested price by eBay? I ignore it. Think about it from eBay's standpoint, Illinois Picker. eBay, if you're a business that generates fees, sometimes on the front end with insertion fees, and then fees on the back end with final value fees and so on, you want items to do what? Turn very quickly. Mm. So if you're going to price an algorithm, if you're going to create an algorithm to tell people what they should price their items at, you're going to tell them to price on the low end so it will sell quickly and you can keep turning volume and generating more fees. You as a reseller, you want to maximize your profit on every item you can within a reasonable time frame. So I don't pay any attention to that suggested. I mean, I don't pay any attention to it. Honestly, I never have. And sometimes it's way off anyway. It doesn't make any sense. So I just don't go by it at all. I mean, I've got my own expertise. And if it's a brand I've never heard of or it's new, then I will do some quick research and make a decision. So there you go.
And we don't have set days, but we are just about done with our sourcing for March, and it's only the 3rd day. That's worked out kind of in our favor. We didn't talk about that at all. And Rob also brought up, do we ever come across 90s or vintage Hilfiger?
Early 2000s.
Yeah. Every now and then we have the more modern Tommy Hilfiger doesn't do so well for us. But, you know, that is a brand where it'll say right on one of the inside tickets when it was made. It's an easy way to determine if it's a vintage piece or not.
Tommy's good about that.
Tommy is really good about that. So, yes, agreed. The little overalls do well.
The short alls.
Yeah, the short.
The little overalls.
The little petite overalls. But yeah, if we can find them, we would sell them, but we just don't. We get a lot more. And we just had a conversation about Hilfiger the other day that it's not selling as well for us. The older stuff definitely does do well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, I think that's going to do it for today. We are definitely over an hour. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. All the comments in the chat were great.
Yes.
Lots of great questions today, as there always is. And I hope you guys, if you're watching this later, you leave me a question or comment. I'll try to get to it best I can. And what else should they do if they like this video, Karen? Before you leave, what should they do?
Oh, hey, girls and boys, if you like what you see, smash the like button. That wasn't bad. I hope Adam's still here. I did it for Adam.
It's like you're someone else when you do that. I don't even know.
I am.
But yeah, hit the like button on your way out, guys. We appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend. Get those sales going. Hit those garage sales that are starting up in your area, or state sales, or even thrift stores if that's your particular, what you like to do. And I hope it goes well for you. And just keep plugging away at it, guys. You're not alone. We're all in this together as resellers, right? There's other people that are in the same boat as you. So don't forget that. There's a big community out there. So go out there and become a part of it if you're not already. And I think it will pay great dividends for you and your business.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out, you guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. I'm Prof Sales.
And I'm Karen.
Saying good sales to you.